The question is, how can I get capital or a small business loan to start my business, my lawn care business? And in this case, the person specified that they have school loans and medical bills. So I am not an expert on finance. I've never got a small business loan through a bank or through the government. So again, I'm not necessarily the best person to answer the question, but I'll give you my opinion, my best stab at it, and what my thinking is on it. Uh, my personal opinion is, given where we are right now, unless you can point to a previous success, unless you can point to a number of contracts that you already have, a number of clients that you have under contract for a certain amount of money, unless you can point to a business that's already running with some success and show how you're going to grow that business, improve that business to earn money to pay back a loan, I think you're going to find it very difficult at this point to find capital. Again, I know there's lots of things coming that maybe it's possible. My experience, my opinion is that I think it's going to be very difficult to find any capital to get a new business off the ground without a proven track record. Uh, I've been involved in other companies that we are very successful and we do 8 figures a year in annual revenue, and we have lines of credit, and we all personally guaranteed those lines of credit even after being in business for many years. And that was during the boom time, I guess you would say, when capital was easy to get. um, the stories, the internet stories of, oh, get free money and get government money, they rarely turn out to be what you would might hope. So I just, maybe I'm a little more pessimistic. I think it's hard to get money. I think you can't just go to any bank and get a nice big line of credit unless you've got a house that's paid down or some assets that they can attach essentially a lien to and collect should you default on that business loan. Give you another example. Advanta had a credit card that I used in several companies that we had. They had 1 million clients that they just, I think in May, said no more. We're not serving our clients anymore. We're done. And they gave us about 5 or 6 days notice, and they canceled all of the credit cards for not just me, for everyone, for all of their clients. American Express. I'm hearing from friends in the business that use American Express business cards, and we have American Express cards as well. This hadn't happened to me, but I'm hearing from very successful friends that make multi six-figure incomes, that run multi-million-dollar companies, that have no debt and have great credit scores, that American Express is coming through and lowering the limits down to their balance on the credit card, or cutting back the big limits that they had, cutting them way back. So there's a tightening of capital right now. Credit card companies are scared. Typically, most Americans finance their first businesses or their businesses on credit cards. It's the easiest way. If you don't have the money, the credit card's the easiest way, using personal credit cards. You're seeing a tightening of credit right now, even in the personal credit card market. I think that it provides a level of difficulty. I think your best source of funding is the credit card. I think that the odds of getting a loan, I think the odds of going and sitting in front of a bank and asking for a $50,000 line of credit are very slim. We have lines of credit, but we have multi-million-dollar businesses we can point to that can pay those lines back, and a lot of assets that could be captured if we were to default on those lines. And I'd also encourage you to be very careful about debt. I'm not a fan of debt. I tend to be quite conservative when it comes to debt. I personally would try to be debt free if possible. You sacrifice some level of growth and some speed of growth by taking the approach of not going into debt, not running up massive debt, not financing all your trucks and all of your equipment. Just the personal philosophy I have. I'm not fond of debt. I use it strategically. We do have a little bit, but it's a very small amount of debt, and typically we try to retire at the year that we take that debt on. We have lines of credit. We try to use lines of credit as backup. When you're growing fast, sometimes you need lines of credit. I tend to be very conservative on lines of credit. I've seen far too many companies get a line of credit and the owners are essentially living and paying themselves nice big salaries on the line of credit. It's not true profits. It's not true salary they should be getting. They're really using their line of credit. One day those businesses fall apart and they're left with huge debts they've got to pay off that could bankrupt them. So Debt is very bad, in my opinion, or significant debt's very bad. Used wisely, debt can really help you. So I would encourage you to be very careful. If you can start the business on the side, start your business on the side, build up. The great thing about the lawn care business is you can get in business really fast and you can have the potential to build. If you're out in the field working with the crews, you have the potential to build an income if you'll live conservatively quickly so that you can be 100% dedicated to your business and get out of whatever job you're working for and be 100% with your business. It can happen very, very quickly, and that's one of the great things about the lawn care business. And then once you're in the business, you can use your profits. If you'll continue to not live an excessive personal lifestyle, you can use your profits to hire more people, to get more accounts, and then before you know it, you're making some really good money. So that's my opinion. Unfortunately, I think you're going to have a hard time finding credit. So if you can get credit cards, that's what you're going to need to use. Otherwise, friends and family are your next best option. And outside of that, if you have any additional relationships, you can tap and ask for money to borrow money. Unfortunately, I don't have any great advice on where you're going to get money from a bank or the government. So I hope that helps.